Hey guys, it's Kate Perez for Titusville City Council Seat 1, owner of nature-tribe.org, and I'm going to give you a little update about the City of Titusville's PFAS presentation at the City Council meeting at 5:30 on July 26th. The city was kind of shamed into doing this presentation because a lot of citizens had realized, thanks to a viral TikTok video from my friend Stell Bailey, that PFAS is a very, very dangerous chemical compound, and it was found in our drinking water in Titusville. So the city had to kind of do this presentation to quell people's fears about this issue and also to educate themselves, which I applaud, the fact that they wanted to educate themselves. A lot of us troublemakers in the usual crowd, myself included, came out and spoke at that meeting because the city was kind of playing the game of, well, we don't know what the new standards will be exactly. We know the EPA has lowered them tremendously, the amount that is concerning per parts per trillion, but they were kind of on the fence about, well, we tested in 2014, which is quite a long time ago, really, and maybe we should wait. And some of us were urging them not to wait, to just go ahead and test it and tell us the information so we could make our own decisions. That's kind of the way we saw it. So I'm going to show you what Robert Jordan had to say about this, because he made his usual kooky comments. And remember, Robert Jordan has endorsed my opponent, Herman Cole, and said he hopes that Herman Cole can continue his work on the city council.
How often, and I'm sure most of us who come from little small towns, we had drinking wells. So we just drunk it right out of, the faucet, or drunk it right out of a well. And that water was not treated at all, correct?
Absolutely.
So one would assume that all the things that we're doing to make sure that our citizens have clean water is a whole lot better than what we were doing just getting the raw water out of the ground.
I would agree.
Having had a successful farm business in Maryland, I would not agree. We obviously had our well water tested when we bought our farm, and we would have done whatever we needed to do to make the water safe if it had not tested completely safe for our children's sake. So I don't know what that means, that you just drink it out of the ground, raw water, or even what raw water actually means. But okay, let's go on.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to bring up Stan's comment.
Please say your name for the record.
Oh, Stell Bailey, Cocoa, Florida.
Thank you.
Stan brought up the Guardian and how we found detected 176 parts per trillion using the TOF. They also used the EPA 537 test. I'm not going to say too much tonight. I have a lot of thoughts. I've talked to some of you regarding this information and all of the work that we've done personally in perfluorinated compounds. I do want to offer on public record that if you are a city resident, we are trying to collect data, and we will use the 537 method, and we've already been offered money, funding. So if we want to get data and we want to hire PACE labs, we have access to that laboratory as well, including Eurofins. The test that was shown tonight was Sandpoint Park. If you have any questions about that, Fight for Zero did that. And we did use the 537 method when we collected those samples. I understand that they are not the method that is wanted by the city of Titusville, which, I encourage you to come right behind us and do your method and test that water fountain next to the splash pad and let us know if you detect anything. I encourage anyone to come behind us and check our work. Just because it's not the method that the city would like doesn't mean it's wrong and that they're not there. And that's just that. And I also want to end with Fight for Zero is an organization that's meant as a resource for these communities. And that is the bridge that we want to gap. We don't want to be up here having to go do tests and come back and say, well, your test is this and your test is that, and it's not right. We want to work together. And I think I've brought that up before. And again, I want to thank the council members that did take the time to conversate with us, have this discussion, and to really listen and ask the questions that needed to be asked tonight. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like you to watch a very short clip from a video, Zoom video, where Stell Bailey, the woman you just heard, is speaking to the National Science Foundation about her own experience and that of her family and friends with cancer caused by these PFAS chemicals.
Stell, take it away, please.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank everyone that has been here through this entire day with us, presenting, and for the National Academy of Sciences for being here and to listen to us. I'm going to bring up a slide real quick where I want to start with my personal journey so you understand why I became an advocate. So in 2013, my husband was deployed to Afghanistan, and while he was deployed, my uncle, who lived with my family but was not blood related, was diagnosed with cancer and passed away not too long after. And then our family dog had cancer and also passed away. And then our brother, at the age of 21, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And then a few months later, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And then my father was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. It's really important that I point out that it took 6 doctors to get my diagnosis, even though I had a little brother and an uncle who were just diagnosed with cancer. They told me it's impossible. It is impossible that you have the same exact cancer or you even have cancer just because your brother was diagnosed 3 months before. So that just presents one of the many challenges that we face when we're in an exposed community. So my husband came home from one battle and had to fight another battle with his wife while I went through chemotherapy and radiation. And I had a 13-centimeter tumor in my chest. And going through 6 doctors to try to figure out why I couldn't breathe and why I had lymph nodes swollen. This isn't just my story. We have many people in our community that have similar stories. And one of the questions we always got asked was, where did you grow up? So I made it my life mission to learn about where I grew up. And I learned in 2018, when the Department of Defense report came out, that NASA, Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, and Patrick Air Force Base were contaminated with perfluorinated compounds. Patrick Air Force Base found over 4.3 million parts per trillion of PFAS in their groundwater. So through that report, I was able to connect with an oncologist. I had spent many years, since 2014, when I was told I was in remission, crowdsourcing autoimmune and cancer diseases in my community. And I was able to connect with an oncologist through this, oncologist Greenwald. And she had cancer herself. And she went to Satellite High School. This school is directly next to Patrick Air Force Base. She had learned that 54 graduates of Satellite High School were also diagnosed with cancer at very young ages, starting in their 20s. She lost a really, really close friend to rare cancer. She went through cancer, and multiple of her friends diagnosed in their 20s. If it was not for having this professional support in our community, I truly believe that there would be a lot of other patients that would not still know today that they have cancer or an autoimmune disease. That support meant everything in our community. She helped collect 54 confirmed cases under 40. Some of the things that we were seeing was Hodgkin's lymphoma, testicular cancer, kidney cancer, leukemias, thyroid cancers, brain cancer, breast cancer, colon, ovarian, bone cancer. And so all of these under 40, she really helped spearhead and spoke at a lot of meetings and helped us start connecting those puzzle pieces as we did water testing and found that perfluorinated compounds wasn't only in our groundwater, but it was also in our drinking water. And especially at the Satellite High School, they did not find PFOA and PFOS, but they did find PFBA. Since 2018, we've had a big group of people helping us, and these are just some of the few people that we've lost since 2018 when that DoD report came out and that began helping us. 33 years old at breast cancer, colon cancer at 39, prostate cancer, breast cancer at 36, cervical cancer, leukemia, brain cancer at 17. She just turned 17 3 days after 3 days after she turned 17, she passed away and lost her life to brain cancer.
Kate Perez, 3025 South Washington Avenue. I wonder if any of you actually watched the video of Stell's family, how many of them got cancer, what type of cancer they got. You see that? Were you aware that there were cancer clusters involved in the genesis of the Fight for Zero program? No. Oh yeah, one, okay. Because believe it or not, some of us, well, at least two of us in this room, let's say, were at the Republican Party's North Brevard Republican, I guess, forum at the Police Hall of Fame for city council candidates. We were all asked about PFAS at that meeting, and I'm talking Republicans now, okay? They were very concerned. I mean, there's not that many questions. There's only 7 questions, surprise questions. That was one of the 7 surprise questions. That's how concerned people are here. And it shows a lack of trust, I think, as well, in whether the city's doing what they should be doing. So I don't know why you wouldn't just go ahead and test right now. It's nothing like the amount we're spending on the plastic plants, right? Just test it. Test the same place that she did her test and make it public and just let us know. I don't see why there's a problem with that, why we're going around and around here. Just let us know, okay?
Yeah, I would, and I was going to say that anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure either. But anyway, I would agree. I don't see any problem. And I just got done saying, I don't know how much I can say it. The more testing, the more valid.
So that's the video. I'm going to encourage all of you to please try to follow Stell Bailey on TikTok or YouTube or Twitter or whatever way you want to follow her, as well as Fight for Zero Brevard, which is her organization. And I'm going to remind you, Herman Cole won't love it, but he wasn't at this city council meeting even after he previously said at the Republican Forum, I've never heard of PFAS. I don't know what it is. I don't know why he wouldn't have come and educated himself if he wants to serve on city council. I certainly am trying to educate myself about this very important topic, and I hope you will as well.